everyone! Welcome back to another episode of my podcast. This feels very weird, not being in the studio. I feel like I'm recording some sort of like hostage video. I'm like, please help me. But I'm at the beautiful Line Hotel in Austin, Texas. I just woke up. I put on clothes. I went to go get coffee. They have an Alfred coffee here. So I got coffee. There was a long line. Whenever there's a long line for coffee, I'm like, you know what? Screw all my other plans. I'm getting an iced coffee. Did I want a latte? Did I want a little cortado? Did I maybe want a little matcha? Sure. But they're busy, and I respect their hustle. So I just got a simple iced coffee. And yeah, Austin City Limits is today. So I'm going to be going to that. I'm not performing. I just get to kind of watch from the sidelines. And I'm excited. I feel like I'm talking like a robot right now. I just, when you're like in a new environment and you're like, how do I talk? I just need a second to adjust. Also, I feel like housekeeping is 2 doors down. This is embarrassing. Not embarrassing, like I'm not actually embarrassed, but also like imagine being in a hotel room right next to me and you just hear me talking to myself. It's a little bit sad. No? Is it not? Maybe I'm being too harsh. Cheers. I did a show last night where, I'll be honest, it did not feel good. It did not feel good. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to work and been like, how did I ever get hired here? Except you're your own boss. You know what I mean? I've hired myself. I'm a freelance employee of Alley Entertainment, LLC or whatever. I'm like, I hired myself to do this job, and that's what I'm putting out. I don't know, I got nice messages after. I got some nice DMs, and it did not feel like I deserved. Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. I couldn't tell if it was, I hate saying like, I couldn't tell if it was me or the audience, because I'm like, I want to be so good that no matter how bad an audience is, I can change it, But I don't think I'm there yet. However, I couldn't tell if this was me or them. I don't want to not take any accountability. I'm sure I could have performed better. But it just seemed a little bit... There were a couple people up front who were like all for it. But the majority were just like sleepy. But also I was sleepy, so I don't know, it's hard to say. But it's always weird when I feel like I do really bad and then people message you and you're like, I don't know who to believe anymore. I'm like, I want to sue these people messaging me saying that I did well for slander. I'm going to sue them for lying and libel. And then I feel bad. I feel like I'm catfishing my followers on Instagram because someone will like post a story being like, Allie killed it. But I feel like I didn't kill it, and I'm like reposting it, like, yeah, what they said. But also, I guess, to them, maybe to the audience, I did kill it, but because I know what my best is, because I'm doing my set, I'm watching my set every night, they're not watching it. I know what my best is, and I know what my not so best is. But, I think I'm just hard on myself. But I think that's good, right? I think there's probably a balance, a yin and yang. I think I can be a little bit too hard on myself sometimes, but that's good because it makes you want to do better. But also I can't live my life being like, you're a little bad girl, Dirty talk is only good every once in a while for yourself. Ooh, Allie sucks. Allie's a little piece of trash. That's fun every once in a while. Slap yourself around it a little bit. But not every day, Because I'm sure, whatever. I feel like, am I talking about myself too much? Anyway, this hotel's super cool. Chill vibes. I think I'm gonna steal the soap. They have like a black brick of soap. Okay, but what did I want to talk about? Oh, yes. I'm gonna keep talking about this, but I'm not gonna be so whatever about it. I don't know. The show was fun. It was funny. Oh, this was the funny part. So, I felt like, honestly, I liked that venue a lot. I liked the people in the audience who I was, like, engaging with. Like, everyone seemed cool. But it was my personal least favorite show so far. It was in Irving, Texas. And it had nothing to do with them. I just personally didn't feel like it was that good, you know? Irving, Texas was very cool, though. It was hot as fuck outside and somehow pouring rain. Makes no sense. But it was a cool spot. I like the drive over there. Whatever. So I felt really shitty about it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Not my best. Tomorrow's a new day. But then when Miss Annie from St. Vincent gets on stage, she gives me a little shout out. God bless her. We love her. She was like, I just want to, give it up for Allie Makovsky real quick. And the whole freaking audience is like taking their shirts off, spinning them around, going like, yeah! And I'm like, where was that energy when I was on stage? Where was that? I needed that when I was up there. But it was nice, so whatever. Great show. I loved it. I did so good. Everyone was obsessed with me. But yeah, today's my day off. We're in Austin. I did a show here, so I flew in. So here's the rundown of what's happened so far. Because I think on the next week's episode, I'm going to try and incorporate some, vlogging style videos to the end of the episode. I haven't recorded anything yet so far. It's been kind of I don't know. It feels like I was thrust back into it as soon as I landed. So I flew into Austin. I did a show at the Vulcan Gas Company on 6th Street. It was super fun. Dylan Sullivan was there. Yoni the Meat Daddy was there. Brian Redband put on the show and got to catch up with him. Who else was there? William Montgomery. The William Montgomery. Tony Hinchcliffe. I left early though, so I didn't get to see him. But yeah, there were so many people. Hassan Ahmad. So many people I know from back home who moved out here, so it was nice to see everyone. And I stayed with my friend Julia from my Patreon, who I met on my Patreon. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Patreon. Really uniting the people, connecting us together. I stayed at her place, and then the next day I met up with the band, got my COVID test again. And it was so crazy because I was off for 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks I've just been hanging out with my boy, friend, doing a bunch of stuff and just trying to enjoy the 2 weeks of off time. And then it was so funny because as soon as I came back, it just felt like I was never even gone for 2 weeks, it all just felt so familiar again. And so the first night we did Austin City Limits, which is the venue. It's called Moody Theater, but it's also called Austin City Limits. It's confusing. But that show was super fun. Super cool venue. And then yesterday we did Irving. And today she's doing Austin City Limits, the festival. But I'm going to kind of walk around because there's a lot of bands that I want to see. Okay? I'm not bummed, but I wish I could have gone to Friday and Saturday, but obviously I was a working girl and I was doing shows, so I couldn't. But Miley Cyrus, mother effing Cyrus, she could beat me up. She could like kick me in the face and I would politely thank her. Oh, I don't know what it is about Miley, but I love her. I mean, I know what it is about her. She's iconic. Anyway, she was performing on, I think, like Friday. I don't know, the lineup was so good. And I was so close, yet so far. But today, it's funny because there's a band who's performing. I'll name names because I don't think it's a big deal. I went on a date with this guy, Sam, who's in the band White Reaper. We went on like 2 dates. Nice guy. I don't think we held hands. We didn't smooch. Nothing really happened, so we just kind of like stayed somewhat in touch as friends. But he's gonna be at Austin City Limits, and I had never heard of the band before, White Reaper, until we went on a date. And then of course, after we went on our first date, I had to stalk the band because I don't want to, potentially date someone who's in a band I don't like. So I looked up his music and I really liked it. It was super fun. And it ended up, so we only went on 2 dates, and he also doesn't live in LA. So it was like, we just kind of hung out. So also, he has a twin brother, so I was like, that was the first time, I think, that I'd ever gone on a date with a twin. And I was like, what if I like meet your twin brother in the future and I'm like, oh, this guy's a lot cooler. That must be so weird, dating a twin, right? That's gotta be odd. I'd be so paranoid, because then it's really not about your looks. If me and my sister looked identical, and someone preferred my sister over me, then I'm like, oh, this is purely based on who I am inside. That's terrifying. Whew, you gotta do a lot of work on your personality to have the confidence of being a twin. That's stressful. I couldn't handle it. Anyway, hung out with this guy, listened to all of his music. Obviously, I completely stalked him after we hung out the first time. And then we went on one more date, and then he went back home. I think he lives in maybe Alabama, maybe Kansas, something like that, that vibe. I think it's Alabama. I don't know. But that was like the last time we hung out. We only hung out twice, and then he went back home, no, it was COVID times, I think. So he went back home, and then one of their songs ended up being my top Spotify song of 2020. Is that sad? Or is that cool? New fan. I mean, it's a good way to promote your music. Just go on, Tinder or Raya or any dating app. And then women will stalk you after. So if you're in a band, that woman you go on a date with is going to know your entire catalog, front to back. Anyway, the point is, I've never seen them perform. It's my number one 2020 Spotify song, so I have to go see it live. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to see my friends from Greta Van Fleet who are performing after that. I haven't seen them in like 2 years, I think. Maybe it's been longer than that. No, probably 2 years. So I'm going to check that out, go see the show. And then the lovely St. Vincent is performing after that, so I'm going to watch her. I never get sick of her show. I swear, if she is performing in a city near you, I highly recommend you go to the show, not only to see me, but the show's so good. You can go to ilovestvincent.com, or you can go to allymakovsky.com/shows, and I have it linked there as well. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of what I've been up to. We're going to Oklahoma tomorrow, but by the time this comes out, we have already done Oklahoma City. All right, so this is going to be a shorter episode. There's no ads for this episode. There's nothing. I just wanted you guys to know what I'm up to, and that I'm going to be pretending to be a vlogger, and I'm going to film some of this stuff on the road, And then, yeah, next week's episode, it'll be regular, and then I'll add some clips from what I've been up to this past week. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like the short and sweet episode. And if you want to see me, go to allymakovsky.com/shows. Go to patreon.com/allymakovsky if you want to do a Zoom hang every month with me and a couple other folks. That's on the top tier. And yeah, pray for me that I don't get sunburnt or COVID at Austin City Limits. Talk to you guys later. Have a great week. I love you. And I think I am going to do my best to get Jeff, the bus driver, on the podcast because I love him and he's such a pure soul. And I think that would be fun. And then I might try and get some of the background vocalists on the podcast. We'll see. I don't want to be like annoying and be like, will you do my podcast? But maybe I will be annoying. Okay. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Have a great week. Or just have a decent day or week. Doesn't need to be amazing. You know? Okay.